Welcome back to the Optimum Method, where we turn great ideas into systems and structure into scalable success. I'm your host, Saskia, and today we're diving into a topic that continues to be everywhere right now, that everybody continues to talk about and continues to use on a daily basis. Talking about AI. But AI is only as powerful as the structure behind it. So we're not going to talk about the hype or the buzzwords or the just use this tool and your business will explode overnight narrative. We're going to break this down in a way that actually makes sense. We're going to talk about what AI actually is, what tools like ChatGPT and Claude really do, talking about the difference between using AI for tasks versus actually automating your business, and where most people are getting this completely wrong. Because here's the truth. AI does not create structure. It exposes the lack of it. And if you don't understand that, you will continue to stay stuck in a cycle of trying tools instead of actually scaling. So let's start with what AI actually is. Let's simplify this. AI, also known as artificial intelligence, is not one thing. It's a category. And at its core, AI is a system that is designed to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence. And this includes pattern recognition, language processing, decision making within constraints, of course, predictions based off of data. But here's where people go wrong because they think that AI is thinking. It actually does not think. It does not reason, or it does not understand like a human. What it does is it processes massive amounts of data, identifies patterns, and generates outputs based on probability. So when you ask AI a question, it is not figuring it out. It's actually predicting the most likely correct response based on what it's been trained on. That distinction really matters, especially when you start trusting it in your business. This is where the foundation and the structure of your business, of your team, of your daily tasks are extremely important. And that's one of the things that I've continued to work on and provide as guidance throughout my episodes, as well as putting it out on social media, on my website, is those core foundations of a blueprint. Same thing as a master SOP. Those details are extremely important to have to be able to build the baseline, your blueprint, to be able to build on top of it and really have AI helping you get there faster. So, what ChatGPT and Claude actually are, that's the next step that we're going to focus on a little bit. And this is where I'm going to kind of blend in the difference of usage as well as what it could be applied to so that way you can use the right tools for the right reasons. So let's be specific. Tools like ChatGPT and Claude are large language models, also known as LLMs. That means they specialize in language, they generate text, ideas, summaries, and workflows, and they respond conversationally. What they are not are your operating systems or your automation engine or your decision maker. You still have to have your own operating systems or automation mechanism, or even having to put steps in place for decision makers' approvals. What these are interfaces for thinking and output generation and speeding up your process within your business. So the difference between ChatGPT and Claude are very simple. So ChatGPT is faster and highly versatile. It is strong for structured outputs, workflows, and SOP drafting, and it is better for operational thinking and system building. Whereas Claude is stronger in long form reasoning and contextual understanding, better for reading large documents and refining tone and do a deep analysis. But it does have a more natural tone in the conversational flow. But here's the key. They are both systems, not solutions. And if you don't know what they are building, they just give you more noise and faster. because you have to feed them that information. You have to feed them that baseline for them to build on top of. There is a big misconception that AI will automate business. Let's address that biggest misunderstanding right now. People think that I'll just plug AI in and everything will run itself. That is not how this works. There are two completely different uses of AI. There's AI for tasks, where most people actually are, excuse me. And then there's AI for automation, where most people think they are. So let's talk about both of them. So AI for tasks, this is where you're writing content, summarizing notes, creating ideas, drafting emails, even brainstorming. And that is where AI assists. It helps you move faster. But you still are doing the work. You're still feeding it information and your thoughts and ideas. And then that's where AI is actually providing you the output to be able to put it into use. AI for automation, this is where systems are running without you. Data triggering actions, processes executing automatically, decisions happening based on the rules set up. This is not just AI. This is AI including systems, including integrations and logic. This is where your background in integrations and SOP becomes really critical. You have to have the systems and integrations as well as the logic you put in place all speak with AI, because without it, the defined workflows, clear inputs and outputs, decision logics, and ownership, AI cannot automate anything. You still have to build it. So you actually start off with the AI tasks and then feed it into your AI for automation, because you've already set that baseline and you know where to go. So let me translate this into something a little bit more practical. If you want automation, you will need a defined process. This is your SOP. You need to understand what happens first, what triggers the next steps, what is the expected outcome. ChatGPT and Claude cannot define those. You have to define those. What ChatGPT and Claude can do is put it all together. Then from there, you need the clear data inputs. Where is this data coming from? Is it clean? Is it structured? Does it fit the right format? And most importantly, is it consistent? From there, you need decision points. If X happens, do Y. If Z fails, you escalate. Again, AI with ChatGPT and Claude, they cannot define those decision points. You have to define that as well. They can guide you through the process, but you ultimately make that decision. And then finally, the system integration, where the tools are talking to each other. The data is flowing between the systems. So let's say you want AI to handle your client onboarding. Most people do this. They write a welcome email. That's a task. But what the real automation will look like for a client onboarding is that the client signs a contract. Then the CRM updates, a workflow triggers where you have the tasks associated. The email sequence sends automatically. Your internal tasks are assigned, documents are generated, and follow-ups are scheduled. AI might assist in part of this, but the system is doing the work. AI will be able to create and define that contract. It may help you write those email sequences. It might define those internal task names. But in the end, a system for real automation, it's a system that's doing the work. So why people fail at AI, I want to spend a little bit of time on that, because what I see here constantly is that there is no structure. AI produces inconsistent outputs. There's no clarity on the process, which then AI gives you generic answers. And then you're going back around and around in circles. Over-reliance on tools. So there's no actual operational improvement. And then lastly, there's no ownership or governance, meaning that there's nothing is maintained or scalable. And lastly, the biggest one is they are trying to automate chaos. AI cannot fix chaos. It will only scale it. It will only make it worse. So it is extremely important to define your structure, define the clarity on the processes, work and use the right tools to have actual operational improvements, and then focus on that automation. So how do you actually start using AI the right way? I want you to understand that AI is the best thing here that you can really use in your business and not shy away from. If you want to use AI effectively, this is where you need to start. And I want you to start here today. I want you to pause and take a minute, get a piece of paper, and write these items out. I'm going to highlight there's 5 different steps. So step 1 is defining one process. Step number 2 is building that SOP first. Step number 3 is use AI to enhance, not replace. Number 4 is layer automation. And lastly is use AI inside the system. So taking it back from the top, as you're writing this down, so defining one process, this does not mean your entire business. Just pick one process that you do on a regular basis. And this can be client onboarding, content creation, weekly planning, reporting. Trust me, I do all of these as well. But there are tasks within each process that you need to document and have a baseline for. From there, you're going to build your SOP first. Before touching AI, document the steps. What are the inputs? What are the outputs? What are the roles and responsibilities? And what does right look like? Because if you don't define what this looks like, AI can make things up and do things out of order, give you too much information or even lack of. And then it just created chaos. So build the SOP first and outline the steps. What are the inputs, outputs, roles, and responsibilities at a core? Then from there, you're going to use AI to enhance it. You're going to use ChatGPT or Claude, whatever your preference is, to draft your SOP, refine the communication, identify the gaps, and improve clarity. You're going to have to take this step by step by step to really have a finalized SOP. And this takes time. I'm actually currently writing one for a customer on how our internal teams are working through the process from start to finish. And it's taking me 2-3 weeks. And not because it's taking that long to do, it's just because it takes time to really define each process, workflow, and communication, identifying the gaps, improving clarity. And remember, it's never going to be 100% done. It's one of those things that is going to continue to evolve. So it's important to take your time, clear your mind, and come back to the document. And then from there, you're going to layer automation. Now you're going to bring in those workflow tools, the integrations if applicable, the triggers associated to the tasks. When task A gets done, task B starts. Or where is there overlap? And then only then use AI inside the system for personalization, content generation, and smart responses. So that was a lot of content today, but it's actually really exciting and really important. I have so much content readily available. I've got some freebies for you as well. The ChatGPT documentation where I ask a generic question and feeds information. Use this document to outline the feedback that ChatGPT or even Claude is providing you. Then use my master SOP. It does not cost a lot. It's only, I believe, $27 for you to download and start using it today. You can use this at a personal level as well. So let me leave you with this, because AI is not your business strategy. AI is not your operations, and it is not your structure. AI is an amplifier. It is important to use the tools, the documentations, and the processes in place to be able to get you where you need to be successful with AI. So if you have structure, it accelerates you. If you don't, it exposes the gaps faster than ever. And it's going to actually take you longer to get you where you need to be towards the endpoint. So if this episode helped you shift how you think about AI, then you're exactly where you need to be. Because around here, we don't chase tools, we build systems. And then we use tools to scale them. If you're already If you're ready to actually operationalize your business, check out all the resources in the show notes. Take advantage of them. I did spend some time putting them together and simplifying them for anyone to use and download. It includes a master SOP framework to help you build the foundation first. And then it has the additional documentation to build on that. Because ChatGPT and Claude, we all know it. It gives you a lot of information, and then you go down rabbit holes, and then you need to figure out, where did you start? Where are you? And where are you trying to go? So again, until next time, structure creates freedom and clarity changes everything. Now let's go ahead and get started and work on that structure today.